Just yesterday, close to 100,000 Jews joined together in MetLife Stadium, along with tens of thousands more throughout the rest of the world, to celebrate the incredible accomplishment of finishing Shas with the Daf Yomi cycle. Just a few days before that, we had the incredibly joyous holiday of Hanukkah. But yet, here we are, just a few days away from Asara B'Teves, a day in which we mourn the siege around Yerushalayim, which would eventually culminate in the destruction of the Beis HaMikdash and the exile of Klal Yisrael. I want to share with you an incredible Gemara about Klal Yisrael's first exile. When Klal Yisrael went down to Mitzrayim, the pasuk says that there were 70 members of Yaakov's family who went down to Mitzrayim. But yet, when you count up the psukim, when you count up the numbers, there are only 69. Rabbi says that he is an incredible pearl of an answer. That who is that 70th person? That 70th person was Yocheved, who was born as Klal Yisrael were entering into the walls of Mitzrayim. Now I understand this is Torah, and all of Torah is incredibly precious. But what makes this answer so precious compared to all the other answers that we have in the Torah? If you would have asked any of the Mesaimei Shas, of all the 2,711 daf that you learned through over the last 7.5 years, what would be your most precious Gemara? What would even be your top 100 most precious Gemaras? I don't think anybody would name this one. Of course it's Torah, and of course it's incredibly precious. But what makes this so precious to Rabbi Abba? Why do you look at this as being such an incredibly precious pearl, more than everything else that he learned? What was so special about it? There's Gemara in Gila, on Daf Gila and Beis, which says that whenever HaKadosh Baruch Hu punishes Klal Yisrael, he always creates the Refua before the Makkah. But that's not the way he is by the other nations of the world. So why is that? Because the HaKadosh Baruch Hu is trying to send us a message that even when he punishes us, he's never punishing us because he hates us and he wants to get rid of us, and because he's so mad at us that he just feels the need to cause us pain and suffering. That's never once the goal of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is punishing us. Every single time HaKadosh Baruch Hu punishes us, it's because he loves us and because he cares about us and because he only wants us to improve, to do tshuva, and to come closer to him. That way, when we actually go ahead and we do tshuva, and with our 2020 hindsight, we look back and we see that the seeds of our redemption were already put in place. We now see that HaKadosh Baruch Hu never dreamed of getting rid of us, like the Christians Chalila say. HaKadosh Baruch Hu always loved us. We were always HaKadosh Baruch Hu's precious nation. And the only reason why he ever caused us suffering was only for us to come back close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu with tshuva. The fact that Yocheved was born as Klal Yisrael were entering into the gates of around Mitzrayim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu was sending us them a message that HaKadosh Baruch Hu could not let a single second of our exile into Mitzrayim without the seeds of our redemption, without the mother of Moshe and Aaron already being born. And that was an incredibly precious pearl of an answer, because that gives us strength now through our goals as well. Because that tells us that in our current goals that we're in right now, we don't know how, but we do know with 100% clarity that the seeds of our redemption have already been put in place before HaKadosh Baruch Hu kicked us out of Eretz Yisrael, before HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent us into this long and bitter goals. HaKadosh Baruch Hu already put in place the seeds of our redemption, the seeds of our salvation. We know Tisha B'Av is on the same day as Pesach, because it tells us the message that whenever we suffer, HaKadosh Baruch Hu has already put in place the seeds of our redemption, the seeds of our salvation. And throughout our long, bitter goals, we know HaKadosh Baruch Hu still loves us, and he still cares about us, and everything he's doing to us is only because he loves us, and he cares about us, and he wants us to come back to him. We can never be hopeless. We can never give up hope, because we know HaKadosh Baruch Hu always loves us, and he's always already put in place a path for us to come back to him, and a path for us to be saved after we do that. We'd be zocheh to see, with our, now in the year 2020, with our 2020 hindsight, what that is, what our salvation is. With B'yitz Kol Tzedek, as the pasuk in Zechariah in Paraches, pasuk Yates says, Kol Amar Hashem Tzvakos, Tzoma Raviv, Tzoma Chamishi, Tzoma Shvi, Tzoma Asir, Yiyah Beis Yudo, Sason U'Simcha U'Modim Tovim, V'Emes HaShalom Al-Heva. We be zocheh to see the day that all these terrible fast days are transformed into days of happiness, rejoicing, and Yom Tovim. With B'yitz Kol Tzedek, Amen.